On a typical sunny afternoon, a stroll in the park brings you back to a Singapore that seems to have been frozen back in time. More than 1,000 vibrantly painted sculptures populate Haw Par Villa. If you take a closer look, you may even spot one of Haw Par Villa's founding artisans working diligently on the sculptures.
I是做安尼咯，做差不多67年了啦。咱无照做干，咱袂做，咱就莫做啦。我上细汉啦，13岁，顶摆我会种啦，我会表孙啦，我啥物拢总我小弟本拢总带一道做的。顶摆我老拢一家口拢总是做伊的工课啦。顶摆地是拢总是阿铁啦、沙泥棒安尼包啊，高花起来啦，伊教人安尼阿铁。白沙泥棒糊红毛花是安尼糊起来，糊了安怎油擦，安怎敲色，安怎油，安怎油。这真杂的啊，真艰苦做啦。伊安怎箍起，爱闪袂使闪，伊搁较细心。人个咧动着，伊搁会记，慢慢来啦，慢慢做，慢慢做，这就无。这工课拢总袂使咩啦。
To Mr. Teo, Haw Par Villa isn't just another recreational park. Having spent most of his childhood here, Mr. Teo knows the entrancing stories behind the sculptures like the back of his hand. He went on to share these stories with visitors of the park.
安怎袂重要？这是世界别个所在拢总无嘛？这世界这地形马路嘛，这Haw Par Villa马路。
According to Mr. Teo, understanding these stories is how one learns to appreciate the intricacy of the sculptures in the park.
Haw Par Villa was actually built in 1937, just before the start of the Second World War, and the person who built it was Boon Haw. The park itself was built in conjunction with the villa. In the 1930s in Singapore, there was not much by way of public places of recreation for the common folk. Boon Haw had a very big and generous heart. He decided to build this garden down here, open it to the public, let them walk through and enjoy the open space down here. This part of the park is known as the Vices and Virtues. This particular scene that you see down here has very much relevance to Singapore. I mean, if you look at the tableau, can you see the gentleman down there, the Malay gentleman in the songkok and the baju Melayu? Okay, this scene down here, we believe very much reflects 1940s, 1950s Singapore. And this particular one here talks about the dangers, the downfalls of gambling. Okay? In this particular scene, the father is so engrossed in gambling that he's forgotten about his responsibilities at home. So when the mother, his wife, sends the son looking for him, something unfortunate and tragic happens. The park is replete with stories. For example, this one here talks about helping future generations. The top tableau down there clearly shows a wealthy man, okay, using his wealth for very good purposes. In this case, distributing rice to the community, to the village around him. The refurbishment of Haw Par Villa is important because this is a heritage site. Just like all heritage sites in Singapore, there's a very close link between the sites, the places, and people's sense of rootedness. Journeys is working hand in hand with Singapore Tourism Board to ensure that this place is conserved properly so that its heritage can be shared not only with the present generation, but with future generations to come.
As Singapore moves into the future, the conservation of sites with heritage value such as Haw Par Villa becomes increasingly important to provide Singaporeans with a sense of history and memory.